Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Square-Leg Gully. I'm your host Khalid Mohidin, and this is the show that flirts with the truth, fact, fiction, and tells amazing stories of this incredible game of cricket. So, as you guys know, the main talk of the town has been Jimmy Aderson reaching that 600 wickets, and it's quite an amazing feat by a fast bowler to be able to do something so amazing. I mean, the only bowlers above him, obviously, spinners. So it's quite phenomenal what he's done. We thought as a group that we're going to talk about this and pick our favorite bowlers and talk about maybe the next person who can maybe get close, and as a fast bowler, and maybe we can look, if we have some time, we can look a little bit into the future and talk about some of the fast bowlers in South Africa that are coming through the system, but we'll see if we get there. But so without further ado, let me introduce to you first, after an amazing stand-up comedy show, you guys have to get it when it's available, Mr. Joey Rasdien.
Yeah, why? Yo, why do I look so handsome tonight, Khalid? I look fine, man. Yeah, I got noor on my face, man. I think
you see, we told you have to do that stand-up. It's the show, I'm telling you.
No, it's streaming live still. So people that didn't see it, they can still go see it now. It's only $70. So you can just go on to Quicket, search Joey Rasdien, and then watch it with your family. Children can watch it also.
Okay, cool.
The worst word I use is cock. Don't worry.
Yeah, the link is in the description, guys. So I put it in again in case this was happening. So I had to foresee the future somehow. I don't know how I did that. But okay, let's go. Let's introduce you to the next guy on the show, and that is
Zaahier Adams. Assalamu alaikum.
Looking very smart again tonight.
We try to be. We do try.
Did you dress like that for Joey? Because I mean, he's looking so handsome tonight. Are you dressing like that for him?
I thought I'd impress him, yes, because the noor is shining there. The noor is shining, definitely. It's from that show on Saturday, man. Jeez, that show was good. I think we laughed proper, Joe. Nah, thanks. We needed that in lockdown.
Wait, there's this other auntie that commented that said, I look so unprepared. She watched the show and it came across as I was unprepared. Yes, auntie, it was the first time I did that material ever. And I don't write my gags down and memorize it. I just speak. And that's why it looks unrehearsed. Even the show is unrehearsed.
Joe, then she don't know you very well. She's saying
basically the Lil Wayne of comedy.
Yeah, Little Wayne is I freestyle a lot, actually.
He says he doesn't write anything down. He doesn't write anything down. Everything comes from the head, apparently so.
Yeah, but I also don't write anything down.
That's incredible. Okay, so let's get the party started. We know how we want to get it started in Mzansi.
How's it, guys? Sorry. I've been shining the light on Joey for the last 20 minutes. My arm is a bit sore. So.
Oh, no wonder I look so much noori.
He's just sitting opposite me, but it's tough. I won't lie. Joe, congratulations on your show. I just want to say one thing about Joey and comedy. Joey is the ultimate freestyler. I'm going to give you a trick because Joey does this. Joey used to allow me to do this when I first started. I'm going to give Joey 3 words, right? Between now, whatever the time is, and when the show ends, watch, you'll use all 3 words. Joey, can I give you the 3 words?
Okay. Yes. What's the 3 words?
Okay, I will tell you one. Floxy-noxy hilly-pillification.
Okay, yeah.
What the fuck?
Floxy-noxy hilly-pillification. I forgot the meaning of
floxy-noxy hilly-pillification. Second word, trifecta.
Yes. Bruh, you gave me these words already.
Yeah, trifecta and kamikaze. That's the 3rd word.
But you gave me these words already.
Years ago, but I want to see you. Pillification. Yeah. That's my number 1 I always give.
Yes.
And kamikaze. Now we can continue the show. Watch my man Joey because I know how good he is.
On the spot.
No pressure there, Joey. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure, bruh. No pressure.
Last over of the ODI. Show us you're not South African. You don't show.
Bro, I'm like the Kusal Pereira of these things.
15 of 6. 15 of 6 to defend. Come on, let's do this.
Wow.
You know the Kusal Pereira?
Yes, Sri Lanka. The innings in Durban.
Yeah.
The chase. The great chase.
Yeah.
I still can't believe Sri Lanka is the only Asian nation to win a series, a subcontinent team to win a series in South Africa. Sri Lanka, man.
Are you mad? What about Fordsburg under 19? Are you mad? They've beaten us like 38 times in Mayfair.
Under 17. And what about Lens under 17?
Nah, Lens under 17 got killed by Fordsburg under 18. Let me tell you, the Mayfair Cricket World Cup 2017. Sure, my man. We are beaten by Asians hard with a tape ball swinging both ways.
Reverse.
The ball hit a crack of cement to win 45 degrees. It was an amazing tournament. Sure, I'll never forget. On the tarmac.
What's the prize for the Fordsburg cricket sixer side? Please tell me. What is the ultimate prize? What do you get?
I'll tell you now. It's a full chicken from Alhambra. It's a full chicken, 4 rolls and a naan.
And a naan. Garlic. I want garlic if it's okay. Can I get garlic?
Yeah. Great tournament. I'll never forget. I saw some of the best bowling of my life there. Easy. Have you ever seen a man in a kurta run? Guys,
is that why the Fun is on tonight? Because of the kurtas.
That's my name. That's my name because this show is about all the fast bowlers. So I'm calling myself Finisher Funny.
So who was that main fast bowler from that Fordsburg team? Who's that main bowler there that you would say?
It was a guy called Zaahier Adams. He's a tailor during the day. He worked at BOP's tailor. Zaahier, why are you laughing?
Why are you laughing?
What?
He's a tailor during the day, but just the immense talent he has to swing the ball both ways, in the air, off the seam, on
seam
cement,
bowler, you say?
On cement. So, yeah, and he bowls in sandals. So, I mean, this guy is the second greatest fast bowler of all time.
Can we find him a South African wife?
Yeah,
so
you
that
can.
He can play with the Proteas. He can play with the Proteas, like we did with Imi.
Yeah.
Because we did that with Imi. You know that's what we did with Imi, right?
Yeah, I know. But I think this guy, Zaahier Adams, I think he has a South African wife. She doesn't know that she's married to him, but he I definitely think he got a.
Guys, let's not talk about wives and stuff. We saw what happened to that Maulana last week. Hey, please, let's not talk about these things, guys.
Let's not do that.
Let's swing it away. Come, guys, swing it away.
We're actually trying to get kind of when he comes down to the MSL, like we're trying to get him a South African girl so he can come play for South Africa. He's still young enough.
Who's this? Who is talking about now?
Afghanistan spinner.
Rashid Khan. Imi successor.
Yeah, we want to give him some South African flavor so he can play for South Africa.
So I'm sure you got some friends that we can line them up. Come on, sell them.
I've got a lot of friends. So here, did you say that you have to leave now at 8:15?
Yes, I do. I do need to.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Well, let's get into it then. Let's get into it.
Yeah. You say what you have to say, and then you can leave.
Yeah.
I'm just here for the rubbish talk. That's all. No. I'm adding no value tonight. I'm adding no value.
Okay, so guys, I want you to give some context to. I know you can't really give much context, but let's give some context to Jimmy Aderson's wickets. There are some. I'm going to go straight for the negativity around it and not the positivity around it. I'm going to say that a lot of people say no because he's played a lot of games and England plays a lot more tests, and that's why South Africans bowlers will never get to it. But let's just give him the credit that he deserves, I think. And I think Zaahier, being an Englishman at heart, let's start with you.
Wow.
What do you think? What do you think about the 600? So what do you think about the 600 wickets, Malcolm?
No, guys, look here. It's an amazing achievement for the amount of remember, longevity for a fast bowler is something that needs to be appreciated as well, something that needs to be hailed. Because, I mean, Jimmy Anderson, the way he started, I remember him coming to South Africa in 2003 for the World Cup. And he looked like a skunk. He had like this red hair up in the middle, and he was like, who's this kid? And then he actually took a hat-trick against Pakistan in the 2003 World Cup at Newlands. And that kind of set him on his way, and really got him going. So he was a guy he was Lancashire, a guy that found international cricket hard at the beginning. He always had pace, and he was, and he was definitely excited and wanted to bowl, but he had to find his length. But when he found his lengths, he's become an amazing servant for English cricket. I mean, he's an athlete. That's the amazing thing about him. You look at a guy like him, and you look at Dale Steyn. There's no fat on their bodies. They're not, and therefore they don't carry a lot of injuries. They don't. Okay, obviously with Dale at the end now, but with him, it was something that he managed to stay on the park for that long. And that for over a decade. I mean, 2003, it's 17 years. So that alone is something that needs to be credited for the amount of work that he's put in. So unbelievable skill in taking it away with the Duke particularly. Very good with the Duke in England. And just an amazing achievement from Jimmy. He also gets grumpy.
I think Zaahier is right.
Yeah. Joey, did you ever think that you're going to see a seamer come close to that spinner category, like to the spinners that have obviously led the way for so long? Did you ever think that you'll see a seamer come close to that?
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be Jimmy Anderson. What happened to Simmi now?
He went to go make his Quran lessons again, guys. We know he disappears.
Oh yes, yeah, he disappears.
Go help his father with the Quran.
He's a magician as well as a comedian.
Yeah. Do you know that?
He's back.
Yeah, in World War II, the pilots that was flying for Japan went into war, not worrying if they're gonna die or not, and they were the kamikazes. Similarly, Jimmy Anderson, he's bowling he's playing 159 test matches. He doesn't know if he's going to be able to walk after this. So yeah, that's quite a kamikaze achievement right there. But in a bigger scheme of things, I guess it's not a floxy-nullification, because floxy-nullification is something that's useless. So it's not floxy-nullification. Yeah. So
sounds like something out of a Mary Poppins movie.
If you have to look at,
please play that song, Khalid.
No. If you have to look at
this.
all three, you have to look at the he played 159 test matches. He took 600 test wickets, and he was a fast bowler. So that is like a trifecta of achievements right there.
That deserves a round of applause. That's my man. That is my guy right there. That's why Joey Rasdien is the best in the business, and let's not dispute that at any point in time.
But there's Simmi gave me another word or so. But coming back to Jimmy Anderson, I think there was a stage where his action was a bit. They tried to change his action, and what that means is, so if there is a guy playing for South Africa and some coach tell you to change your action, don't, because you're just gonna change your action back to its originality. And when Jimmy Anderson changed his action back to where he started to take wickets again, and he was less injury prone. That's what happened to Mfuneko Ngam. They were like telling him, "Oh no, you must change your action." Blah blah blah. It's just, in the meantime, he had a classical action. And if you look at Jasprit Bumrah and Mike Proctor, they all had suspect actions, but it worked for them. So that's what I liked about the fact that Jimmy Anderson took 600 wickets, because he got back to his classical swing bowling action. That's how you want to bowl as a bowler. And a similar type of action as well. Sorry. Yes?
So, Simmi, before you say anything, I want Zaahier just to leave us with something before he runs off.
So my thing with Jimmy is that he's grumpy. He's a grumpy fast bowler, and I love grumpy fast bowler. I don't know if you saw. I was on day 4. I think he was on 598 wickets or
Yeah, and then
597.
they drop 3 catches in a row, bro.
Exactly. Did you see the man? The man was fuming. There was steam coming out of his ears. Now that's a fast bowler. I like that. I mean, what's it, guy? Zach Crowley got 267, but he didn't want to go back to the dressing room at tea time. That 267 was forgotten. He didn't want to sit next to Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's the type of fast bowlers I like. Grumpy guys. You know, they get in there. Khalid knows how grumpy I can get, but that's me. I'm Areff, boys. I will catch you on next week, and I'll tell you all about my interview I'm going to. So we'll see you guys.
Good
Awesome.
luck.
Yeah, good
See you
luck with
again.
that. Good luck with that.
Good luck.
People don't leave and go watch that interview. Stay here by us.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to search on African cricket and get Simmi some tickets at the same time.
Yeah.
Look at this
Cheers,
guy.
boys.
Can't
Okay,
wait.
see you.
The laugh.
Sure.
Awesome, guys. So, Simmi,
Can I
Yeah.
say-
I want to
Yeah,
ask you, as the young, like obviously we
Yeah.
of the younger generation over here. I mean, we're able to see history in the making, and obviously, someone like Jimmy Aderson that we probably grew up to watching in the peak of his career, and
Yeah.
obviously there's obviously been that debate between Dale Steyn and obviously Jimmy constantly with the South Africans always taking Dale Steyn as the best bowler and not Jimmy's side. What's your thoughts on this whole thing?
I
that
think
happened?
they're two incredibly gifted bowlers, but I think where Jimmy Anderson is just slightly ahead is that he adapted well. So throughout his whole career, it's a thing that Hashim Amla, that's what separates Amla from other batsmen. Like Amla had a problem with his batting and he adapted to become better. And then people would say like, oh, Hashim couldn't do this, then he did that. The same thing with Jimmy Anderson. Jimmy Anderson over his career has adapted well, no matter where he bowls in the world. And that means he's a thinking cricketer. And that's what I admire about Jimmy Anderson.
Yeah, I was just thinking about what makes Jimmy Anderson's achievement so good is that if you look at the other bowlers, Shane Horn always had Stuart McGill, Glenn McGrath, Tim May, Jason Gillespie. There was always other bowlers in the team that was also good. That was also like really match winners.
Same with Murali. Murali had Chaminda Vas for the vast majority of his career.
Yeah, Chaminda Vas, and he had like Rangana Herath also sometimes bowling to a spin to and there and stuff. But with Jimmy, it was only basically Stuart Broad. Yeah, and Stuart Broad is right now the only guy that could get to 600 wickets if in a near future. I think
that getting to 600 is tough for a fast bowler.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you must remember, Jimmy Anderson started in 2003. He played 159 test matches. Dale Steyn only played like 90-something test matches.
93, yeah.
93 test matches. And Dale Steyn's strike rate is much better than Jimmy Anderson's strike rate. So if Dale Steyn had to play up until, let's say, 120 test matches, he would have reached 600 test wickets. But unfortunately, he didn't. Yeah. But I can tell you this: if Kagiso Rabada plays 100 test matches, he's going to get 600 test. He's going to get 600. He's going to get to 600 if he plays 600 test matches.
I think KG Rabada will break almost every fast bowling record.
Yeah, if he plays 600 test matches and he keeps fit, I think he'll break all the records. Yeah.
That's very important because, I mean, let me talk about that because maybe it's a little lesson to some of the youngsters out there that do watch the show. But when I was doing my show earlier on about the young fast bowlers in the country, the one common trend between all of them was the fact that they were getting injured at the age of 18, 19 already because they're bowling at speeds of 150, 145, 150. And they're pulling up injured. So there needs to be something that Cricket South Africa kind of does and the high performance kind of does to stop that from happening so that our young fast bowlers can play for much longer. We see how KG's being completely destroyed, going to the IPL and then still playing full test series and ODIs. And he doesn't get the rest of that guy.
He must learn how to say no, though. He must learn how to say no.
I guess so, yes.
That's part of
Jimmy don't play. ODI, a one-day international cricket anymore. Also, another guy that is also Pat Cummins, but Pat Cummins, I don't think he's going to play 120 Test matches.
Yeah, not at
Because
all.
he's injury prone and stuff.
Yeah, but
So-
just back to KG's thing is that's a choice also. His workload is a choice. And like if you saw last season where he looked like he had been worked through for 3/4 of the season, even pre World Cup. It was like he went to go do IPL things because he's contractually bound. But a lot of guys are hitting with the fake injury. And he only hit with the fake injury for the final. But still, I think I need to- you got to
also, you
manage
must also
yourself.
remember. Yeah, but you must also remember where Jimmy Anderson had an advantage is his contract with the ECB is maybe, if not, I don't know the figures. Khalid might know the figures here, but his contract with the ECB is much better than if he had to have a contract with the IPL team. Whereas Kagiso Rabada's contract with CSA is not much better if you have with the
100%.
IPL team. So if you have to weigh up the options, and then you're like, am I going to stay at Tottenham Hotspur for more money than me playing for Barcelona, and I can play lots of games and stuff? Well, okay, that's a cuck example. But if you have to choose between the two, in terms of monetary value, most guys is gonna choose the IPL. The English guys don't play in the IPL because
listen to my argument against that, right? I agree with you because you can't stop a person from making their Zak. But we can say that KG isn't even at the halfway point of his career.
Yes.
He's definitely in the twilight of his career.
Yes.
So you know that you're going to make this money anyway. What he gets at CSA isn't a pauper's salary. It's enough. It's enough. It's not a pauper's salary. So he could learn how to manage a bit better. He'd be like, yo, maybe I shouldn't go play IPL this next season, these next 2 seasons. I wait for my contract to end and I focus purely on my national team.
Who doesn't want to be a 20-year-old millionaire though?
Yeah, like and Jimmy Anderson.
He really is. He got endorsement deals.
Yeah, but you think the thing about Jimmy Anderson is that his contract with club and with county and country is much better.
Leave Anderson out because they were dealing with pounds. You know, it's a different economic system.
It's obviously a different economic system.
You know, Dave Chappelle has something he says this. He says he's sitting at a table. Dave Chappelle is a comedian, by the way, Khalid.
Yeah, I know he is.
He's sitting at a table with his wife, and opposite him is David Letterman and his wife.
Yeah.
And he says David Letterman is worth like $590 million and Chappelle is worth like $158 million.
Yeah.
And David says, we're sitting at the same restaurant, eating the same food that we'll still pay. He says the difference between millionaires and millionaires doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, you comparing Kagiso Rabada to any one of us, then we're just like, we'll take the money, we'll take the money.
Yeah.
But I mean, we think about a guy that wants to represent his country, and he doesn't have to not ever play IPL or any other type of thing. He doesn't have to play in the peak of his career.
Yeah. Like, I mean, just making smart decisions. Like, you don't play the entire tournament, for example. But I don't know what is in that IPL contracts, though. Like, how strict is it?
Oh, they own
We
you.
don't know.
They own you.
Yeah.
They own
So, like, that's what we need to know. Like, so, I mean, that there was that last year, there was that incident where he took like 23 wickets in like no time. He was the top wicket taker, and then he got injured. So then he stepped back and he obviously took a rest and then came to play for South Africa.
You know how tired he looked at the World Cup?
He was so it was so obvious, and I was like, that was the biggest mistake we made, because I mean, Otis tried. I remember in the press conferences and off air as well, he told us out of the press conference, he also told us he tried. He gave a letter into the IPL to try to get him back early.
Yeah, they must lie.
Didn't allow it.
Players must learn how to lie better. My man should have pulled up engine.
Like the soccer players, you should pull a name off.
Yeah, even and they say, okay, our club doctors will look at it. Let them look and they say, but we find no problem. Be like, you're just saying that because you want India to win the World Cup. That's what I would have done. I would have lied.
As Hong Kong doctors. Yeah, you're coming here with your Hong Kong medicine. Yeah, I know. I know. We've got Dr. Tim Noakes. Let's go to Dr. Tim Noakes. Professor Tim Noakes will show me will show you.
guys
I
don't-
have bone density issues.
You
Bone
guys don't have
density issues.
potato and I need to go back home.
But
Put on weight.
I'll tell you.
Or you
I'll
must
tell
just
you
brush
this.
shoulders with Steve Smith and get banned or something, you know?
Yeah. Another thing you don't know how to manage properly. A big series, then you go get himself. You go rest in a serious game, a game that matters. That's when you. Oh, I brushed my shoulder with him. My man, go fight the IPL.
I was just wondering about this as well. So before the IPL and before there were only in recent times, like maybe in the past 10 years, has cricket been played constantly and consistently. Because prior to that, it was just like two teams coming to South Africa and South Africa going to two other. So it was like basically four test tours per annum, right? Right, like basically. So basically, it was like that. Now people play more test cricket. Like they're forcing test cricket in COVID-19. That's why Jimmy Aderson took 600 wickets, because they were forcing the test cricket to be played, which is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. So if guys like Richard Hadley or Malcolm Marshall or even Curtly Ambrose to a certain extent also played 120 tests, do you think they would have gotten to 600 wickets before?
Yes.
Because if you look at their strike rate and the economy rate, it's
Make no mistake about it. Jimmy Anderson only did this because he had more time. Like, make no mistake about it.
Yeah,
it's a great achievement, but he only did it because he's had more time.
Yeah, yes. I wouldn't say he had more time. He had more opportunity in that time.
No. He's played more games. He's had more time.
Played more games,
Yeah. I know he played more games.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the only reason why he's done it, is because he's played more games.
Yeah,
if you choose anybody on a top 10 list of fast bowlers of all time and you give them the same amount of games as Jimmy Anderson, Anderson doesn't make it. Anderson wouldn't be sitting there with his 600 wickets, wouldn't be as far up on those top 10s.
It's crazy it's crazy what Dale Steyn has done. 439 wickets in 93 games is incredible.
Yeah,
it's
ridiculous.
You can work it out now. You can divide the wickets, the averages, and everything, and you can work out where Jimmy Anderson would be in that top 10.
Also, you must remember, it's he got faster to 600 test wickets than he got to 300 test wickets.
We must also weigh up how many games he played in England itself as well. Weigh that up as well. In his own conditions, when the ball's favoring him, swinging around.
Yeah. Like in South Africa and in Australia, you get gemoer, bruh. Because there's no... you get gemoer. Like,
in India, there's nothing to help him.
So that's the other thing as well. So if you wanted to say, he's great. He's the first fast bowler to get to 600 test wickets. But I don't think he's the greatest fast bowler.
Okay, so let's get into that then. Who is in your? Let's start with Joey and then move to you, Simmi.
Yeah.
Who is the best fast bowler in your eyes of all time?
Malcolm Marshall, without a doubt, bruh. For me, Malcolm Marshall, I'll put Malcolm Marshall in any team. Malcolm Marshall was like a combination of Vernon Philander and Glenn McGrath put together with the pace of maybe Dale Steyn. So he was like three white guys together. That was Malcolm Marshall. He could swing both ways. He was a match winner. He was one of those guys where if the West Indies was in trouble and then Bob Richards would bring him on. Why do you think the West Indies always won so handsomely? Because of Malcolm Marshall. Okay, they had other Curtly Ambrose, Courtney Walsh. Before that, they had Ian Bishop, Patrick Patterson. Malcolm Marshall started with Joel Garner and Andy Roberts. So, to outperform Joel Garner and Andy Roberts at the top of their game, plus there was Colin Croft. And then later on in his career, there was guys like Curtly Ambrose and Courtney Walsh playing with him. To outperform those guys, both three, it was like in 3 eras. And I think he still got one of the best averages. and of the best strike rates. And he was a match winner. That was the thing. He was like one of those guys that you can bowl a 7-over spell that will contain a batsman and not score runs, or he can bowl a 4-over spell that needs to rattle the batsman, and he could do both. So there's very few fast bowlers that can do that.
Let me just put it into perspective for some of the younger viewers. Okay, so Malcolm Marshall, 81 games, 376 wickets, an average of 20.94. Which is incredible.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. And his strike rate, what was his strike rate?
An economy rate of, let me just get it right, 2.68 and a strike rate of 46.7.
Right. That's ridiculous, bro.
That is unbelievable if you look at those stats.
It's ridiculous. And he played, and in the other thing about him is that he also didn't play every single test match because he was dropped sometimes.
Yeah.
Like they were like such great West Indian bowlers. They're like, nah, let's give this guy a chance. Winston Benjamin. Who's Winston Benjamin? I don't know. Let he play. Patrick Patterson. Who's Patrick Patterson? Then Malcolm Marshall will be like, no, let Patrick Patterson play. So he was not one of those guys that also wanted to hog the limelight. He was like giving the new guys. You can ask Sean Pollock. Sean Pollock will tell you that at Natal, Malcolm Marshall had the most influence on Sean Pollock. Sean Pollock wouldn't have been the bowler he is today or was if it wasn't for Malcolm Marshall.
I think for me, the answer I would have to give is that it has to be any one of the seam bowlers involved with the greatest sporting team of all time, the West Indies. I mean, their utter dominance for so many years. It can be any one of those bowlers. So you can say Malcolm Marshall, Joel Gardner, Michael Holding, Andy Roberts. Anyone you can pick and choose. You can pick and choose because you know the thing is Curtly Ambrose.
Check,
you can
check what's Curtly Ambrose's strike rate there, Khalid.
Yeah, let me just have a look.
It should also be in a 40s. It should be in like
54.5.
Oh, 54.5. That you see, and he took 400 wickets or so. So to have a average of 20, a strike rate of 46, and an economy rate of 2.6 over a test career, and he only played like how many 70-something test matches?
Curtly.
No, not Curtly.
No.
Malcolm Marshall.
Malcolm Marshall, 81.
81. So he played 81 test matches, 376 wickets. Bruh, that guy is like, for me. And I also saw him bowl live. So, you know, when you see somebody bowl live and you go, yo, there's Bra can bowl, bruh. Like, yeah.
That's how I feel. Like, that's how I feel when I see Tabrez Shamsi. I go, yo, Shamo, yo.
Because his action and the way he runs in and his body language and all those things also make a great fast bowler. I used to like Glenn McGrath also, because Glenn McGrath had that same vibe but Glenn McGrath couldn't put the opposition under pressure with his pace. Like if you had to ask Glenn McGrath to bowl short from around leg stump, then he wouldn't have been so effective as Brett Lee was, for instance, because Brett Lee was used for that stuff. So and Michael Kasparovich was used for that stuff. Not whereas Michael Marshall could do that. Or if Verb Richards said, look here, for the next 10 overs, we need to go at 1 run per over and put the opposition under pressure. Malcolm just come bowl in the channel. Outswing, inswing, bro. Yeah. So imagine Vernon Philander, Muhammad Abbas, but with the pace of Dale Steyn.
That's scary to think about that.
Swing it both ways. Swing it from the pitch, pitching, cutting, swinging in, swinging, reverse swinging, out swinging. Like, he was brilliant, that guy. Yesterday. It's a pity.
I would have smacked him. Still,
you would have smacked him.
I would have smacked him. Smacked him hard.
The bounces.
Double stepped him at Kingsmead. Smacked him hard. Into the Burr.
There was Zaahier I think Zaahier is gone now, but I remember the first season Malcolm Marshall came in. I think he took 7 wickets in one of the innings. And the guys that was facing him was basically afraid. They were like, yo, this guy. And that was in his olden days. That was like when he was old, when he was like 36, 37. And then he was still putting it down. So, yeah, for me, that is the greatest fast bowler of all time. I might be biased, but yeah.
Yeah, but Simmi, for you, it will be. Let's take it. Let's do it.
Era.
Yeah, let's take it from what you've witnessed.
Sure. You know, I saw Dale Steyn bowl. It must have been one of the games of the Wanderers. It's just because the Wanderers is one of those fields where you can almost see the players and you can see their face as well. And you can see the intensity because everything is just so flat there. Not the pitch. I'm just like this the viewing area.
Yeah.
And
you're close to the players, yeah.
You're close to the players, and you can just see the intensity of this man running into bowl at you.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that with Dale Steyn, like if you remove his pace aside, because you always find fast bowlers, I think the thing that scared you the most is that you wouldn't know what the ball would do if it was in a good area.
Yeah, you
and
see.
That as a batsman is fearful. Yeah. You wouldn't know. So like seeing Dale Steyn, you're just like, wow, this thing. But then also at the same time, you know, and I don't think he's the greatest fast bowler of all time. And I'm just putting him into the conversation of like great fast bowling spells where you go like, this guy got talent. And because Dale Steyn has done it over a longer period of time. You know, I like to call it the Daryl Cullinan test. When it was Lungi Ngidi and Geyser Rabada bowling in Centurion, and they ended Daryl Cullinan's broadcasting career just one way. and Centurion, I saw Lungi Ngidi bowl that day.
Yeah.
You feel like he could have taken a wicket off any batsman that was batting. And like from old and young. If Ricky Ponting was batting, he would have edged it to first slip. If Sachin Tendulkar was batting, he would have plumb LBW on the second ball. He just bowled so well that day. Now, whether he can do that for the next 10 years,
I
don't think it's a different story. Yeah, but that was such a wonderful spell of fast bowling. It was between him and KG, and that I think that's the thing, that KG is a great fast bowler. Where I think KG doesn't scare me. KG doesn't scare me.
Now you see, speaking of great spells, there was a spell where West Indies played against Australia, and Curtly Ambrose had a wristband on his arm, and Dean Jones was like, "No, you must take that wristband off, my friend. Take it off." And then Curtly Ambrose got so upset. Then he took 7 wickets for 15 runs. Bro, like 7 wickets for 15 runs. Bowling, yes. It's on YouTube. You must just say, you must search Curtly Ambrose destroys Australia. That was
who's another person who I think bowls extremely well, and like I'm excited to watch them, is Shaheen Afridi.
Yeah, but I think the thing about it was, for me, Mohammad Amir was better than Shaheen Afridi when Mohammad Amir came onto the scene. Because Mohammad Amir, the left, he made the people go. 17-year-old made the batsman jump around. And Shoaib Akhtar, there was a test match where India and Pakistan played, and I don't know who said what, Lakshman or it was Lakshman or Ganguly said something to Shoaib Akhtar, and Shoaib Akhtar bowled basically average 150 in that spell. Like,
it's ridiculous.
150. He almost went up to 160. Like only Mitchell Johnson and Mitchell Stark bowled faster balls than.
I was saying that it's one thing to bowl like close to 160. The thing is, if it's not in any place on the pitch that is going to disturb you as a batsman, it's useless.
Yeah, exactly.
Bowling balls at 160.
That's what makes Steyn so amazing. You can reverse that ball with pace.
Same with Mitchell Johnson. You just felt that when Mitchell Johnson had a ball in his hand, you were scared.
Yeah.
You know, throw something in there.
Yeah, so can I throw a span in the works and ask you guys about someone like Wasim Akram? Does he come up into this conversation and debate at all?
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Absolutely. Wasim Akram, him and Wakar Yunus again.
Him and
But
yeah,
you see
him and
that,
Waka, yeah.
you see again. I was always thinking about this. Would Waka Yunus be as good as he was if Wasim Akram didn't play with him? And would Wasim Akram in the latter part of his career be as good if he didn't play with Waka Yunus? Wasim Akram was lucky. He played with Imran Khan. And then when Imran Khan left, then he played with Waka Yunus. So there was always like
I think that answers your question. I think for me, Waka Yunus would be happier that he got to bowl with Wasim Akram.
But Wasim Akram, yes, that's
Not
the
other
thing.
way around.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you completely. Waka Yunus wouldn't have been the bowler he was if it wasn't for Wasim Akram.
If it wasn't for Wasim Akram.
Similarly,
I think that's like, you see what Joey mentions over here is very crucial, because bowling partnerships would inevitably give you those high records that you'd get. And if you think about it, Australia had Brett Lee, Glenn McGrath. They've always had something over there. People always transitioning. Pakistan and Wasim Akram, Waqar Yunus. And you start going, what do we have?
Also, Waqar Yunus and Wasim Akram had Saklin Mushtaq Ahmed as the spinner.
Yeah, and I'm saying, what do we have?
That's the problem.
We're getting there. Wasim Akram and Waqar Yunus had Saklin Mushtaq and Mushtaq Ahmed as the spinners. Glenn McGrath, Brett Lee, they had Shane Warne as their spinner. So the only team that didn't have a spinner basically was West Indies at the time, because they had other bowlers. So they had Joel Garner and Andy Roberts, and then they had Malcolm Marshall or Michael Oldie.
Yeah.
Then they had Colin
to a different light again, because he had
then they had so Dale Steyn had who?
Paul Harris and Nicky. I don't even know he had Nicky. And obviously Keshav now towards the end, but that's what makes. But that's what makes KG so amazing, is because he had to carry the team in the absence of Steyn for so long. But someone made an interesting comment over here, which I want to bring up. Same could be said for Morne Morkel. He says Morkel was better because Steyn was the more feared bowler.
100%, without a shadow of a doubt. Morne Morkel felt comfortable bowling because Dale Steyn was bowling the other over. Not because Morne Morkel's not a good bowler. He's a really, really good bowler. But I mean, knowing that you could make a mistake because there's someone else applying pressure from the other side must ease your mind entirely. Entirely.
That's why
yeah.
When they came up against great batsmen, because if a batsman can moor Dale Steyn in the team, like there's Tendulkar or there's Kohli, and Kohli's mooring us, and then you go, and then the other bowlers go, my goodness. Whereas, and here's the thing, again with the West Indies, if one bowler gets a move, like if let's just say people is hitting Curtly Ambrose this one day, then Ian Bishop and Courtney Walsh is going to bowl a shit out of you now, because now it's not like be fearful. Whereas in some teams, if Glenn McGrath and Shane Warne gets pummeled, that's how Brian Lara always scored lots of runs against Australia, because he attacked Shane Warne and Glenn McGrath. So all the other bowlers, if they see Glenn McGrath is getting pummeled here, and then they get nervous to bowl. Whereas when the West Indies, if they pummel Andy Roberts, then Michael Holding comes and says, I'm going to show you now. You see now. Whereas in Pakistan, that era, if they pummel Waqar Yunus, Wasim Akram is going to come and say, hey, I'm going to show you now. You see, and that is what makes a great fast bowler as well. Is that if the other bowlers in your team gets removed, and then you're not nervous to come bowl. And that's how Kagiso Rabada is right now. He's like, yes, okay, you did moor Dale Steyn, come try and moor me. And that's what we need. You see, and that's what we need. Whereas with Jimmy Anderson, he just puts it there. Whether you're gonna be, because he's not gonna bowl cock. He's just gonna put it in a bowl. He's gonna put it. Whether hit him or not, it's not gonna matter. So you'll see in South Africa, He didn't take wickets. We did Moor here in South Africa. In that other test match, Pakistan should have won because they moored him. But the thing about it is that with Dale, not with Dale, with that partnership Simmi was speaking about, if they moor Dale Steyn, then Morne Morkel gets nervous. Do you understand? He used to, his confidence is down. So you want a fast bowler that will come and say, give me the ball, I want to bowl now, and I'm going to show them.
Like, that's why I'm respecting this trio that we currently have with Nokia, Lungi. We haven't actually seen them all three play together properly.
But I like Anrich. I like Anrich.
Yeah, because I mean, Anrich is a big wicket man. Taking Kohli's wicket how many times? Like, he's a...
Because the thing about Anrich is, he's one of those guys, even if the other ones get gemoor, he's going to come try and moor me. That's what we need.
I respect anybody that posts on Instagram about Black Lives Matters. You already got my support. He's already there. My man,
Anrich's an amazing guy. Go watch our episode with on in our lockdown series with Anrich Nokia. We have the episode over there. You'll get to know him much better. I want to mention something else. What I respect bowlers is the ability to be able to bowl in any conditions. Now, a guy like Dale Steyn playing six tests in India, getting 26 wickets, going to Australia, getting 31 wickets in 4 or 5 games, going to, it doesn't matter where he plays, he's struck amazing. He's been like one of the best bowlers in every single condition. Does that make you guys maybe feel, look here, that makes someone like Dale Steyn really a competitor for the greatest ever fast bowler?
No, he doesn't make it. He doesn't make it.
He can't be better than Wasim Akram, bro.
Yeah, he can't be better. He's not better than
Wasim Akram. Wasim in India, in Pakistan, in West Indies.
Like, it's impossible to even say. I mean, I don't even think he would claim that.
You know, even Chaminda Vas also. Chaminda Vas bowled also in all conditions, and he was the only bowler basically besides Mutia Muralidharan in the Sri Lankan team at the time. Here's the thing: you can't be better than Wasim Akram in all conditions. Wasim Akram can bowl in any condition, and he'll make the ball swing in any condition. And he will come with a short run up, a long run up, wide of the crease, this in the crease, short ball again, like Malcolm Marshall. So so for me, Wasim Akram comes close to Malcolm Marshall. Malcolm Marshall is still number 1, but yeah, there's not been a bowler in the world since Wasim Akram and Malcolm Marshall. I don't think there's a bowler that could have made such. You know, at first I thought Trent Boult would be that type of bowler. But I don't know. I don't know what was it. Maybe Kane Williamson used him incorrectly, but Trent Boult seemed like that guy that can change the game just like that.
He does it in the shorter format exceptionally well.
Yeah. So Trent Boult in the recent past was like one of those guys where I can go, this guy, he can change the game by his bowling. Very few fast bowlers. And Dale Steyn did that. But if you come up against great batsmen, and then, that's the other thing, bro. Like, AB de Villiers moored him in the IPL. Virat Kohli moored him in the IPL. But I think in IPL, anybody can get moored. I understand. I understand. But what I'm trying to say is, never did I see a batsman dominate Wasim Akram or Malcolm Marshall. There was one game at Centurion. Sammy, do you remember that game when Pakistan and India played? And Sachin Tendulkar playing. Yeah, Wasim Akram.
I would be too young.
Oh,
I only saw a Centurion game once I moved to Joburg.
There was it was Pakistan and India touring South Africa at the time. I don't know if it was the World Cup or it was before it was the World Cup. It was South Africa 2003 World Cup, I think. Sachin Tendulkar scored like 96 or 60-something balls, and he moved Wasim Akram and Waqar Younis that day. Yeah, I was like, this guy. Even Mohammad Azruddin, they were more. Well, I didn't see a batsman dominate Malcolm Marshall. or dominate Wasim Akram as much. Yeah, Brian Lara and Steve Hoare to a certain extent, they dominated Waqar Yunus, but I don't think they dominated Wasim Akram the way, because Waqar Yunus always went for runs, because it's also fast off the bat.
Joey, can I ask you a question from the fans here? That this is probably aimed at you, because obviously I wouldn't have been able to see him. But where do you place Dennis Lilly with regards to bringing in a sense of fear?
I think Jeff Thompson was faster than Dennis Lilly at the time. So Jeff Thompson was one of the guys that was actually more fearful. Most batsmen was more afraid of Jeff Thompson than Dennis Lilly. However, Dennis Lilly was a very skillful bowler, and Dennis Lilly was the only bowler that the West Indies basically was like, okay, this guy is up to us. He can, and an English batsman was also nervous for Dennis Lilly. But if it wasn't for Jeff Thompson, I don't think Dennis Lilly would have taken so much wickets and would have been such an impact, because Jeff Thompson was bowling that time above 145, 150, that time already, and people didn't bat with helmets in him. So I think Jeff Thompson made Dennis Lilly take more wickets than Dennis Lilly would have taken wickets if he didn't have Jeff Thompson.
Yeah, the talk about partnerships is so important, and when it comes to bowling, and people don't actually realize that. Here's another comment over here, and more of a statement. And Simmi, you can say this, talk on this. Steyn has more wickets in less matches than Akram, better average, better strike rate in both home and away. Why do people worship Akram is beyond me.
Because that guy is from India.
Wait, it's for me, Joey, for me. Let me answer. You must answer the historical questions. When did Dennis Lilly use the sundial? That's the question you must answer. Me, I will answer. I think with Steyn and Akram, it's actually close. It's closer than we actually think. But I think where Akram edges him is that you always felt like Akram was forever thinking. It's like, and he could do it anywhere at any time. I mean, his reverse swing bowling was, I think him and Waqar Yunus made that bowling famous. Like, they made it mainstream. And I think there's always something with Wasim Akram working in tandem with Waqar Yunus. Whereas, I mean, it's a very good question. I mean, you could debate it either way, but I think Akram is more exciting to watch because he's a left-handed bowler. I'm right.
And he's from Pakistan and not from India.
Yeah, maybe, but
Anuj is definitely an Indian supporter. There's no Indian fast bowlers on this list. Sorry, Anuj.
There's not a single one. And that's a very good point. Akram won a World Cup, Steyn hasn't. But I mean,
And in that final, Akram won him the World Cup in that final. Basically, he bowled the English. He confused that spell of him in the final of '92. Yes, I don't think there's a better World Cup spell than that spell of Akram in that final. Also, the other thing about Akram is that I think basically it's the whole Pakistan team. You don't know what you were gonna get, me. You don't know. It's like that surprise factor, man. Like today, I want to bowl 150, then Nilsoma bowl 150. Today I want to bowl 120, then Nilsoma bowl 120. So I think and although Dalesdale has more wickets, although he's got a better average, although all those things, granted, excellent. That doesn't take away from Dalesdale. Dalesdale is a great bowler. I just don't think. Nepalese. Thank you, Anuj, for watching us all the way from Nepal, my guy. Yes, we're gonna come there to climb the mountain. What mountain is in Nepal?
Yo, I wonder how Anuj even found this live stream. Like, I would love to know, like, how, like, the process of him going, like, oh, these guys are speaking about cricket. I love cricket. Oh, it's at this time. Okay, let me click on this link. I would love to know the process.
So let us know in the comments. Let us know how you found it and how you came across Cricket Fanatics magazine. So, guys, I want to ask you one question. Because, I mean, obviously we're running out of time, but what does South Africa do? Because, I mean, Pakistan has produced, like you said, so many fast bowlers over the years. And so many over the years. And we're starting to produce some fast bowlers. I know that we can talk about guys like Lifa and Tanzi coming through, bowling 150. I mean, I watched him at Kamajolo week. It was scary, the way he was squaring a batsman and they couldn't play him. I mean, it's only... No, Lifa and Tanzi. He plays for the Dolphins now. He's a young. I
Yeah,
think he's 19,
yeah.
19 years
And then
old. He's
I know.
then
Yeah, I know Uzi.
and then we
Sipamla,
have
he's there. still.
Sipamla doesn't. So Sipamla's there, but Sipamla's not fast, man, and that's my worry about Sipamla.
Yeah,
Is that
Sipamla
he
Okay.
doesn't have the
is-
speed of the likes of Lungi and the likes of KG. I mean, he can maybe get a little bit faster, but he doesn't hit the 140s. So as a
Okay,
speedster, I'm a bit worried. But I mean, Gerald could see
Tando?
obviously 150. Tando
150 Gerald.
does. Tando doesn't need 150, and that's in my. So Tando needs to be able to find a way to. His main ability is his swing.
Mm.
The boy's ability to swing the ball is incredible. And I think that in his accuracy to bowl on a specific spot consistently, and that's what gets him wickets. And I think that's what's going to get him wickets for a long time. What people don't know about Tando is that Tando started off as a batsman, in fact.
Yes.
He was
Yes,
shorter of
yeah.
stature when he was grade
Mm.
9, roundabout when he was still at Selborne.
Mm.
So when he shot up when he moved to Cape Town, he shot up in grade, and he went to Wamba Boys. He shot up in grade like 10, 11, and he became much taller. And Western Province saw him as a bowler, obviously the ties to his father as well. But he doesn't hit that 140 mark consistently. So in order for you to, the only guys that I can think of right now, Aishal Kluti is one of them that bowls 140.
Yeah.
He's 140. There's Gerald Kutsia, Lifan Tanzi. We're still waiting. Anrich Nokia, of course, he's much older, yeah.
Andrich,
So
yeah.
it's I think to have three young speedsters coming through the system. I tried to ask them what makes them quick and what do they do to prepare. They said ever since they were young, all they tried to do is bowl fast, and this became part of their life.
And
But what
that's
do you
how it
guys
should
think-
be.
Hmm.
That's how it should be. That's how Pakistan do. Yo, guy, you can bowl fast. Come bowl fast. Come.
That's what
Yeah.
they did with Dwayne Patterson, and how did that work out?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, and you say subscribers in 3 months. Thank you a lot.
Anuj,
for
Anuj is our guy. Anuj, we're gonna come. Is it? What is it? Everest. What is in Nepal? Kilimanjaro? No, in Everest. Ne? Where do you
I
go
don't know.
climb Mount Everest? Ne? Anuj, tell us what mountains is there. I know there's that
Yeah.
mountains where you climb, where you take the bee, and then the bee is like got more dopamine in than the marijuana plant. The bee honey. So there's. I promise you. I
This
promise.
guy's like an encyclopedia. Like no, what?
No, there's a bees. There in Nepal. There is bees that makes this honey, and this honey is like not the aphrodisiac. What's that thing called, Simmi? Psychedelic thing. So then you go there and then you drink the bees honey. Everest, you see, Anuj knows about it. Yeah, Anuj,
I like
just
the
tell
Anuj
us
guy.
people.
I'm actually only doing
Anuj-
the show from now on if Anuj is here.
Anuj,
every
just-
single Tuesday, if Anuj is not here, I'm gonna just leave.
Anuj, just tell us people about the bees honey, that honey that you guys go take, and then it's a celebration, and then the honey makes you drunk. I promise you guys think I'm lying. It's for
I
real.
don't think I believe most of the stuff you say, Joey. We're gonna do one more question for the fans, and that's just where do you guys rate Stuart Broad? Is he the same bracket as Anderson? Now we spoke about it early on, but I mean, I know Mohammed joined the stream later, so maybe you guys can answer that question.
Stuart Broad is a better batsman.
Jimmy Anderson has more hair.
Stuart
Simple
Broad is
as
a
that.
better batsman. Yeah, he's a
There's-
better. I can tell you this though. If I was a selector and Stuart Broad was a South African player, I wouldn't select him for our team.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. That's bad. But yeah, sorry. I wouldn't select him for our team.
Okay, so I think we can concur. Let's wrap it up. Let's just make it the final decision here. Pick one
Malcolm
guy
Marshall.
that you think.
Malcolm Marshall. It's Malcolm Marshall.
Bro.
There's
Malcolm
no,
Marshall.
you don't have to wrap up anything. It's Malcolm Marshall.
Malcolm Marshall
no-
is like
Yeah, there's no other thoughts. There's no other opinion. It's Malcolm Marshall. And then
Malcolm
the next
Marshall
answer
is-
after that is it can only be it could only be any of the West Indies bowlers in the 70s and 80s. And then after that, you can either have Lily or Akram. And then after that, you can have Dale Payne and anybody else.
yeah. I
So there you
guess
guys have
yeah.
it.
I agree with Sammy completely. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you guys know you have to go to obviously in the link in the description to get Joey's show. Joey, do you want to maybe someone
Anuj.
asked you to tell a joke? I don't know if you want to maybe give one to the fans
No,
so
but
they can
we
go
have
and
given
click
enough
the
jokes tonight.
so they can click the link.
Yeah, you can just go click on the link and then buy the ticket, and then you can watch it with your family.
There we go.
That's it. Anuj, you must get the people from Nepal to watch there. I don't know if they're going to understand, but yeah, I speak about hippos. and
And
tigers.
platypus.
And tigers and the platypus. I
And the
speak about
platypus.
hippos.
The platypus.
Yeah,
And the
that was
platypus.
the one.
You know the
that
platypus
got me. I was
is
sitting
a-
at the table the next
a
morning,
mammal.
Joey, with my family and researching the ages of animals compared to dinosaurs.
That's my favorite.
It's a
Joey-
platypus, bruh.
Yeah, that's my favorite Joey gag of all time.
The
platypus.
duckbill platypus.
A
The
duckbill
duckbill platypus. The
Yeah,
duckbill.
and-
Perry the platypus from Phineas and Ferb.
Platypus, yeah.
From Phineas and Ferb.
So
Yeah,
guys-
you know Perry the platypus. Yeah, Anuj
Yeah.
know Perry the platypus. They in Nepal, they maybe have. Nepal, they have, what is that thing called? A pangolin. You know
Yeah.
the pangolins. A pangolin is the most endangered species in the entire world. A pangolin is if they don't have bats, and if they don't have pangolins, then they eat bats there in China.
Nepal.
Okay. Wow.
No, not in Nepal. Nepal is basic. In Nepal, they eat soya. It's the vegetarian people there. Anuj, no, he's vegetarian. I know. He eat mock lamb curry. Mock lamb
Not
curry.
Anuj. It's-
Anuj.
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 So Joey had
Prabhakar.
an opportunity to punt some of these things. Some anything from your side, from Funny?
Yeah, I've got 2 banging lesser known somebody's podcast episodes coming out soon. Like really, really good. So on Monday, I'm dropping 2. Other than that, I don't have much going on in my life. If you're a young single lady, holler at your boy. I'm looking to settle down now. And yeah,
If you want to hear a different side of me, go to Simmi's podcast and listen
Yes.
to the
Joey
thing
Rasdien
that we
episode. Excellent
the
episode. Excellent
Yeah.
episode.
that was a brilliant interview, by the way, Simmi. Thank you. You're always
so
good at
much, my
hosting.
good. Thank you, my boy.
That's a yeah. My cigarettes is finished. Fuck.
Okay.
And
So
it's
that marks
now-
the end of the show. So guys,
Yeah.
thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Anuj, thank you to you too. Guys, I know the next thing you have to do is just like, comment, share, subscribe, press the notification bell so you can get all notifications of all the future videos. Don't forget to download the latest issue of the magazine. And thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys again very, very soon. Cheers, guys.
Bye.